In this video, I'll be covering the WaveTech Pattern Finder. As it turns out, this is a very important indicator in the suite, as the logic that is in this indicator actually drives the logic that's in the Fib projection tool and the WaveTech Cycle Finder. This is going to be very important to understand the pivots and some of the settings in here, as these settings will also apply when using the Fib projection tool and the Cycle Finder. So let's get into understanding this indicator. So we'll start off by bringing up a chart in TradingView, and this is a 5-minute S&P futures chart. We're going to go to Indicators, and we're going to put in the WaveTech Pattern Finder. Once that is up, you'll notice a number of things. There's different color of lines that are marking two highs and lows in the pattern. Now, this is a real-time chart that's running. The green and red lines are when the logic finds two pivots in the same direction in a row with no opposing pivot. What will happen then is that between the two pivots, there will be a marked higher low depending on the direction of the pivots. When the pivots are detected in order, a blue line connects them. This means that there is no opposing numbers in between. It is just straight down. The next thing I will do is show you what happens when you go into settings. So you'll go up to the settings up at the top here. You'll click on that and you're going to go to inputs. There's a couple things in the inputs you need to understand. The strength is the look back period. So it's looking back 2 bars right now to find a high. So as long as there's lower lows and lower highs in the pattern, it's not going to mark a pivot. And then the inverse as it's going up. So the strength of 2 is looking 2 bars back, looking for a high or a low. This can be changed, and you'll notice as I change this that the pattern starts to change. If you notice I go to 4, all of a sudden larger patterns are starting to be detected. If I go to 6, now you see that large patterns are being detected. So depending on what you want to find, this logic is very smart in finding these highs and lows, much better than indicators like the zigzag and some other conventional tools that are out on the street. This will actually find the exact highs and lows based on this pattern. So let's set it back to the level of 4. And what I'm going to do here next, right underneath the strength area, there's a tab that shows Show Pivots. So we're going to click on that button. And now what you're going to see is little triangles show up on the page where the key highs and lows are showing. Right now, like I said, this is on 4. If I go back to settings again, you can see that I can set this back to 2, and you'll see all the highs and lows. And now the lines, as I mentioned, the blue line is, you'll notice this first blue line, there is no opposing lines. Everything's in a sequence. And when you start to see, here's another blue line, then we get a red line, and then a green line here, and then the blue line again. And this is just marking these consecutive sequences as it's looking for these highs and lows in the pattern. But the key thing that you're going to want to know here is those marked highs, which is where the triangle is coming in. This will map out any pattern that you want to see. Now, this is on a 5-minute chart. We can change it to a daily, and you'll see all the patterns that it's doing. Maybe for a daily chart, you want to change the settings to something different. But you can take this as low as a 1, and it's going to mark every pattern. So if you're doing Elliott analysis, this is going to be very helpful in finding those corrective phases and swing charts. I go through the next indicators. I'm going to show you next the Fib projection tool, and then we'll go through the cycle tool. We'll go through everything in sequence that is related to this indicator.